Hey superfans, welcome to Quick Tips. Today I'm going to show you how to do expressions for all of your own characters. It's going to be really fun. Now in the interest of being quick here on Quick Tips, I already have a bunch of faces laid out and ready to go for us. Let's start with Happy. Okay, so I already have his eyes in, and I have his eyelids done. You want to make the eyes towards the top of the head, not all the way at the top, because remember, we still want him to have a forehead and area for his expressive eyebrows. But you want to make it right around here, not too far down, that'll throw it off, and we'll save, I'll tell you why, but we'll save that for the next face. Okay, so, his eyes are in. Let's start with his mouth. You have to give him his jowls. Now, if you're following along with me, and you're also doing a dog, then you're going to want to take this step by step. But if not, then I recommend you don't, because you don't want to put jowls on a human alien or a monster character. Okay, so for this shape, it's going to be like a rounded triangle. On all sides will be, of course, round. You're going to flatten it out and put it towards the bottom of his face. Okay, so just to give you an example of what you don't want it to look like. So see here now, this is too big, and this looks more like it's getting into beard territory. So we're going to make that a little smaller and then thin that out again. Okay, so I have the triangle shape, thinned it out, let's apply it to his face. That's a lot better. Okay, now once you've applied it to his face and you're happy with the way that it looks, feel free to press and smooth everything over and make it look like it's really a part of his face and not just a piece that's kind of standing off. Okay, or standing out rather. So, now for his nose. His nose is just going to be a little black ball. Now for this, you want to pinch the end. Actually, let me make this smaller. Yeah, that's a good enough size. Little black ball, and you pinch the end, just like this. Apply that to his face as well. Press gently, and it should stay. Now for his mouth, since he's going to be happy, we want him to be smiling. So you're going to take your tool with this rounded piece on the end here. This is the tool that I use for sockets and for eyeballs and all that stuff. So plant that right in here and just press in once. Now he's got like the face. Yeah. Okay, so after you do that, pull to the right and pull to the left. That's it. Okay, it looks crazy, but we'll get there. Okay, so you're gonna pull just a little bit more and you're gonna start to see that smile form. You want a big, nice, open grin. Sure. Okay. And once you have that, kind of looks like a Muppet character right now. Once you have that, you want to take this tool again and just apply it to either side and kind of straighten out these curves so that it's more of like an angular shaped smile. He's opening his mouth just like that. Looks more natural, I should say. Okay, now we can take a toothpick and on the left and right sides of his nose, just do 3 little dots. 2, 3 on the right, 1, 2, 3 on the left. Just to give him a little more detail. Okay, so you have his mouth open, takes some black clay, not too much, but you're gonna need enough, and just toss it into his mouth. Now, we're not going to leave it like that. Take this tool again. You're going to need this tool a lot and this tool when doing the expressions. So, take this again and put it into his mouth and thin out the black clay that you just put in there. You want it to fill the entire mouth, the entire shape of his mouth. Great, okay. Now that I've done that, I can go ahead and make his smile a little wider. Okay, he looks very weird still because he has no teeth, no tongue, so it kind of looks like he's gumming his way through life. Okay, so we're going to start with his tongue. Just take some red clay, take a little ball off, roll it out, and then take your fingers and just pinch the end so it kind of looks like a teardrop shape. It's going to look like this. And then flatten that. Flatten that and flatten it until it looks more like, I'd say, a balloon. It looks like a balloon. Okay. And after you have that balloon shape, just bend the biggest part of the balloon downward. Just like that. And now you have his tongue. So, I've made his tongue too big, I think. Yeah, I have. Okay. Actually, no, I did not. So, now that you have his tongue, take this tool, this is the other tool, use the pointed end, and flatten it into his mouth. Flatten his tongue into his mouth so that it looks like it's actually coming out of his mouth and not just hanging there. Great, now he's got a big, wet, hanging tongue. Awesome. Once you have the tongue, you're going to take this tool again and press into his tongue, into the center or the side, wherever you want. Not all the way over to the side. I did mine a little over to the left instead of right in the center. But you want to make that line, that classic cartoon line that always goes right down the center of the tongue. Now for his teeth. I'm going to take his teeth, take some white, and just roll it out like this. Just roll it into a little white log, just like that. And once you have that log, you want to take your thumb and flatten both ends. After you've done that, put it at the top of his mouth. Bend it to the shape of his mouth, whatever you've made it. Take your pointy tool again and press. And just keep pressing. Because that does two things. It, one, adheres the teeth to the top of his mouth, and it makes little indent lines, and it looks like teeth without having to do every individual tooth. It's a quick way to get that done. Okay, now that his mouth is done, let's add some cheek lines. So you want to take the same color clay as his face, so I don't know what this color is, but I'm going to take this, make little balls, and attach it to either side of his face. I'm going to test this out and see. Okay, now that I think might be too much. So, you want to attach it to his face just underneath the eye. Like that. And once you've done that, take this tool again and smooth it over, press it down, blend it in, whatever word you want to use. Okay. And you're going to want to do the same thing for his other cheek. So it's going to look like that. Right now he kind of looks a little menacing, actually, to be honest. But we're going to make him look cute. We do that with the eyebrows. So you're going to take this dark brown, or whatever color you're using for your eyebrows, pinch off a little bit, roll it out in your fingers, and when it gets to be like about that length, just pull it apart. Roll it out again. This time, let it be a little thicker, and then just bend it. I'm going to bend it so that it looks the little eyebrow raised. Just like this. There you go. And do the same thing for the other one. Okay, now for his ears. We're gonna use black for his ears. Uh-oh, it's drooping over here. Droopy the dog. Alright. We're gonna use black for his ears. So you want to roll out a piece of black so it kind of looks this fat and this long. And then you're going to thin out the top of that. Doesn't matter which side you choose to be the top, but you want to make sure you thin that out, or you thin that out and keep the smaller side, now smaller side, thin. So this is the smaller side, this is the bigger side. So this is how his ear is going to look. Now we're going to apply that side of his face. Put his ears up because he's happy. Do the same thing to the other ear. And there you go. Look how happy he is. Alright. And there's your happy expression. Feel free to move on to the next episode where we'll be covering sad.